And we have a number, I practice here, and a number of our parishioners also practice here. And Barry Horton, who has the Reiki practice here, is also one of our parishioners. So with your St. Paul's is kind of infiltrating the yoga studio here. So of course, when Robbie said she was going to do a blessing, I said, I think I did volunteer, like, I'll be glad to do something. But yeah, the Episcopal Church, just a couple of brief words about that. Our tradition is kind of, we like to consider ourselves the via media, the middle way between Catholicism and Protestantism. So technically we are a Protestant church in the sense that we're not affiliated with Rome, but we do have a lot of the we have kept a lot of the traditional Catholic practices in the universal sense. And we have a lot of folks who come to us from the Roman Catholic Church and say, oh, this looks just like the liturgy that I grew up with. But we do not have a pope per se. The Archbishop of Canterbury is our spiritual leader, but he doesn't have the authority to sort of make decisions for the whole church in the same way that the Pope does. And we are the only Protestant church, so to speak. Well, no, that's wrong. We are the only church that calls their ministers priests, who allows women to be priests. So in the Protestant tradition, there are plenty of, almost all Protestant denominations will ordain women as pastors, ministers, whatever they call them. In the Episcopal Church, we do call our ministers priests. We have a very high sacramental life, and a lot of it is, in a lot of ways, indistinguishable from the Roman tradition. But obviously the Roman Catholic Church does not ordain women, and the Eastern Orthodox Church, which also calls their ministers priests, does not ordain women. So when I say I'm a priest, people often get confused and will say, well, are you Roman Catholic? And I'm like, no, because they don't allow women to be priests. And when I walk around town in my clerical collar, I often get called sister because they think I'm a nun. So if you ever encounter a female Episcopal priest, the official term of address is mother. Although not all women Episcopal priests like to use that term. It's kind of a political thing. They think it sounds too much like a Roman Catholic nun or whatever, or they just don't like titles. But anyway, if you want to be formal, Episcopal priests are father and mother in the same way you have father in the Roman Catholic Church. So just a little education about that for you. I'm going to offer a blessing that came from, actually not out of the Episcopal liturgy specifically in any of our resources, but it's a resource I found online, a liturgical resource that had some materials for blessing of a home. So I've modified that for this space, like you were saying, this has a lot of aspects of a home, and I was interested to see how many of the things it was saying about a home were very similar to kind of what we're doing here. And in this bowl here, I just have some holy water, which after I give the blessing, I will sprinkle holy water around. And the water is a symbol of, in the Christian tradition, our baptism. So the way you become a Christian is you're baptized in water, which symbolizes our death with Christ and his death, and then our rising to new life again in his resurrection. So every time you will see Christians who will take holy water and make the sign of the cross, it's a reminder of our baptism and our rootedness in Christ. So, and we also can use it to bless various things. So at the end of the blessing, I will sprinkle with holy water the studio and all of us as well, because the traditional namaste greeting in Indian tradition, which means the light or the divine in me honors the light of the divine in you, I think is very appropriate also in the Christian tradition, because we believe that we have the light of Christ dwelling in each of us, and even if we're not Christian, that all people have the light of God or the image of God in them. So the namaste is very, it's interesting how the similarities between the traditions come out that way. So if the joke is that if you want to get a group of Episcopalians quiet, and this does work, you can't say, I need your attention, please. They'll just keep talking. But if you say, the Lord be with you, then they all respond, and also with you. So if you, in any tradition that's Episcopalian, Roman Catholic, Lutheran, that use that greeting, I think a lot of churches use that as a method of crowd control, but it also is actually a greeting. So I will start this blessing out with that greeting and your responses, and also with you.